welcome back to our channel. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Thank you guys so much for being subscribers. If you guys are not a subscriber, please feel free to go ahead and click that red subscribe button. Yes, right now I'll wait. You done? Okay, I believe that you did it. Thank you guys so much for subscribing to our channel. It really helps us a lot. Right now I'm a stay-at-home mom, and through YouTube and Etsy is one of the #1 ways that I bring income into my home for me and my husband and my daughter. So with that being said, let's get started. What I'm going to be showing you guys today is how to create a sublimation clock from beginning to end. I know that's the way that you guys like the tutorials the best, so that's why I'm the one that's bringing it to you fresh and free. Okay, so the apps that we're going to be using today is the Collage Maker app. You can find that in the Play Store, as well as the Photoshop Express, and last but not least, we will also be using the Epson app, which for some reason is not in this folder, but I will be showing you guys it today. So now we're going to start with the Collage app. With the Collage app, we're going to find the photos that we want. You guys can use 1 photo, 2 photos, whatever the case may be, but I'm going to be using 4 photos. I'm going to go ahead and select the 4 photos that I will be using for this little princess. May she rest in peace. This is going to be an amazing project. So the first thing that we're going to start with is I'm going to show you guys, once you do it, this is how the app is going to break down your image if you have 4 images. If you have more, it breaks it down in the best manner in the shape that you choose. The shape that we are working with right now is a ratio 1:1. This seems to say that it's best for Instagram. If you guys had like a Facebook, Pinterest, all those other things that have different shapes, but it's the Instagram 1:1 ratio. With that being said, this is how it begins. Now we're going to go to the next step, getting it to where we need it to be with the clock. I'm going to change that background to white so it's not distracting you with the pink. And I'm going to go ahead and click that check mark. We don't want it to be like this. We don't want it to be broken up with the cross in the middle or the circle around. Well, you do want the circle around, but I'm going to do that in the next app. If you guys want to just take it from here and go ahead and go to the next step, you actually can add your numbers. Let me show you guys. You can actually start to add your numbers and leave it here and print from there if you wanted to. And it actually tells you how to make it even. You see that? And then it'll go to the next number. But I'm going to be using this as a passage app. I just want to make sure that everything looks great, that none of my images need to be moved around. For example, if you were to move this around, you'll see that there's white in the back. Let me change the background so you guys can see. Okay, you'll see that there's space right here. And you don't want that space in your circle. So you want to align it as evenly as possible, and sometimes you can switch images around to make it better. Let's go ahead and go back to our white. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the top image with my bottom image, and I want mommy to be up here. I'm going to pull it down and adjust it a little bit, just like that. And then I want to leave daddy to the top. And the other 2 are just fine with the baby girl. She's so cute. So now from here, we're going to go ahead and put it back to our original layout, just like that. From here, we're going to go ahead and send it to our next app. Like I said, this is simply a passage app, and that's what we needed to do. So now that it is saved, I'm going to go ahead and share it with my next app. And after the ad go away, it's free because they're ads, guys. We're going to click share, and then we're going to send it to Photoshop Express. I like to click just once because I like diversity, and I hate to have my things go to different apps. So you're going to click just once, and now you see the 4 images right here. If you guys want to add a filter, you can go ahead and do that as well. I'm going to lighten that filter up because I don't want it to be too extra. And I'm not going to edit this image. I'm just going to go ahead and get that frame to make it the clock. And as you guys can see, everything lines up perfectly right here. Now, what I want to make sure you guys know is that when you're working with sublimation, you need to make sure that your image can be reversed. And if it needs to be reversed, if it has numbers or images, you want to do that, because once you sublimate it on that permanent item, it won't be able to be changed. So after we put our numbers, we're going to save the image, and then we're going to flip the image because the app doesn't give you that possibility. Right now I'm going to go ahead and put my numbers, and I won't be putting all of my numbers. I'm just going to be putting the 12, the 3, the 6, and the 9 on this clock per se, because I don't want to cover dad's face or the baby's face. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the number 3. Also, guys, you want to make sure that you bring it down a little bit because you don't want your numbers to cut off when you're sublimating. Bring your numbers closer to the inside, not too close to the end, because with sublimation you want it to be a little bit bigger than your actual image so that there's no white left around. And I'll show you guys that when I actually show you the video. So we're going to put that 6 at the bottom. And as you guys saw, the other app actually helped you guys to align it better. This app, not so much. So that's another thing to think about when you decide to start designing your clock. Last but not least, we're going to use the 9. And that's that. I'm going to bring my 9 in a little bit, my 3, now that I have everything here evenly, I'm going to go ahead and save this image, and I'm going to go back. Don't save because we already saved it. Going to take me back to the other app, right? It'll take me back to grid. We're going to open Photoshop again. Just stick with me, you'll see in a second why. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip it, because the other app doesn't give you the possibility to flip and mirror your images. Now you're going to go ahead and go to your Epson app from your phone, and if you guys are doing this from the computer, it's pretty much the same thing, but a bit simple, and you have a little bit more control. But this is very easy and a very smooth transition. Anybody could do it with your phone, with your tablet, with your computer. It's very, very awesome. I'm loving this process. And you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna grab that. Now, the clock is actually 8 inches. And the paper that we have is 8.5 by 11. So I know that if I do it about here, I know if I do it here, that's too small. That's like 5 or 6 inches. This is about 9 inches. This is pretty much 8.5, but we're going to bring it a little bit smaller than that. Just like that. That's pretty much how it looks on our paper. And we'll have a little bit hangover, and that's why some of this is not going to be sublimated on the clock, because the clock is probably not as big, but you won't lose out on your numbers. You'll see that your numbers will still be sublimated. I'm going to go ahead and print this right now, and after it's printed, I'll come back with the printed paper, the clock, and everything else that you guys need to see. Wait. I'll do it. Hey Tullies. Okay, so I already did my introduction. I'll try to save you guys the time. So right now, what you guys will probably need, or what you do need, is you need your heat press to be set. We went ahead and we set ours to 400 for 120 seconds. That's the measurements and the time that we use for our sublimation clocks. Next, you would like to have a piece of Teflon sheet. You guys can find that in the link below. We'll help you guys find those. And then you would also need the sublimation set. It comes with the back piece, a hook, and the hands that go on the clock. So that's what you guys will need. And they actually come with, just to be careful, I believe it comes with a plastic over it. It does. We sublimated something before without taking the plastic off, and it was a big mistake. You want to avoid that. So always make sure to see if there's a plastic covering over it, and I'll show you guys how to deal with that in a second. We will also be using a Cricut tool today. It's very optional, as well as the glove. If you guys aren't very good with heat tolerance, you will probably need that because it gets extremely hot. But I'll show you guys how I'm going to use these later on in the video. Also, I have my clock that I will be using, and this is pretty much how I gauge the size that I would need via telephone app. So it literally shows you that it has a little space to the right and the left, and I figured that that's about a quarter inch and a quarter inch on both sides, and that's pretty much how I gauged it to come out on, I believe it's a quarter inch. Yeah, a quarter inch on both sides. And that's pretty much how I gauged it by eye on the app. Also, very, very helpful. I wouldn't say 100% needed, it depends, but it's extremely helpful to have this heat tape right here because it's good with heat and it keeps your photo in the place so it doesn't move, and it doesn't have like this kind of shadow thing if it moves when you drop your heat press. Now, with all of that being said, let's get started. All right, so as I showed you guys before, I pretty much set this up a certain way so that there is hangover, and so that I make sure that there's no white left on my sublimation cloth. Now, let's see that interplay. I'm gonna go ahead and set this down. Try not to scratch it. Set it down on my paper, and as you can see, there's a little bit hanging over on all sides of the clock. You can see that, honey?
Yes.
And I'm gonna go ahead and get my tape and tape it into place.
The plastic.
Oh. Told you guys, don't forget, because I shouldn't have forgot. Okay. I'm going to use this because sometimes it's very hard. I don't know if Cardo can see it, but I don't see the plastic. It's very hard to see it and take it off sometimes. If you guys have a good idea of how to take this off, because I don't, please let us know on the bottom so we're not always struggling. Does this even have the cover on it, or am I tripping? Okay, I know on this clock I saw it. I feel like I should put it under the heat press a little bit, let it know or something. Okay. I'm trying not to scratch the sublimation coat off of the metal. That, see, pretty much, and that's how it starts to come off. You literally do not see it unless you know, look for it. I want you guys to see this part because it's, you know you have to tug on it. Some work. Like literally, you did not see that. I forgot it was on there. Goodness gracious. Take it off. Put that to the side. And now, good? Yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and put that back down. And now I'm going to start taping it down. So there's different ways you could tape it. You can try this way. I'm not 100% sure how sufficient that is. So I just do mine like that. I pretty much think this is good. I'm going to put one more side adjustment to this right here. Not to use all of this tape because anybody got money for that. And then I'm going to go ahead and put it on the heat press. Now, the tricky part here is, as we know when we're dealing with the heat press, is that you want the paper to be on top. Right? So, I'm going to clear that off. And then this blank piece of paper, I'm going to put under. Just like that. And we're at 396. We're almost there. I'm going to grab this and flip it over. And put it right on top of this other sheet. Drop it just like that. If you guys have your Teflon sheet, go ahead and put it on top. And I have heavy pressure. I'm going to go ahead and make sure it gets that full 120 seconds. After the 120 seconds are done, we'll be right back. Okay guys, so we're back. Like I said, it's going to be extremely hot. I'm sorry. That's the camera for a second. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab this. Now, you may see a little bit of white, but that's just the paper and we can easily wipe that away. But this is pretty much our finished product. I think I could probably actually touch it. I'm gonna go ahead and take my tape off. Sometimes I reuse my tape, like if I had several orders at a time, I will go ahead and reuse the tape. Even with the glove, guys, this is extremely hot. I have to put it down. It's extremely hot, so be careful. Be very careful. It's like no joke hot. And this is pretty much it, guys. All I have to do is go ahead and wipe off all of that excess paper that got really hot on it. And if you guys want, we do ours for 120 just because that's where I feel comfortable with sublimation. But follow the instructions that your clock has, and if that doesn't work for you, then you adjust it from there. But this is the clock. We're gonna go ahead and let it cool down, wipe it off, and we'll come back and assemble it with you guys. Okay guys, so pretty much you just want to take a wet cloth and you just want to go ahead and wipe any of the possible paper or anything that have been left after sublimation, and you're left with this beautiful shiny clock. And from here we're going to start to assemble the clock. I think I see something. Okay, and then from here I'm going to go ahead and open this fragilely. That does not look fragile though. And then take out our pieces, and then we're going to take out the instructions. And if you guys are looking to sell these, this is pretty perfect because it's easier to ship. You do not want to assemble this prior to shipping, so you would be able to sublimate the clock, put this leave this in a container with the instructions, and send it off to your customers, which will be A1 excellent. Okay, and then from there it's pretty easy for your customers to go ahead and put it together themselves. Now, clock movement, bloody bloody. This is the instructions. So I'm going to go ahead and set this here and see how easy it is for us to do this together. Okay guys, so this is the finished product. It is beautiful. We actually started it at the 12 and it has progressed on its own, so you guys can see it works and it is beautiful, and it is an amazing gift to give to your loved ones. Please go ahead and let us know if you guys have any questions or comments. Let us know how much you love it. Also, we'll probably end up putting, I think I most definitely will put the GoFundMe link that they had a year ago for their baby girl who has now been resting in peace, and her birthday just passed, which motivated us to do this wonderful clock for them. We thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and have a blessed day. Bye, Tullies.